Welcome to the Florida Everglades. On the road again. I just can't wait to get on the road again. I'm over here driving through the Florida Everglades to see my friends, and I'm on the road again. Welcome. So I wanted to stop here. Maybe we'll see some gators, but getting out of the car is not going to be pleasant. And it's going to get real hot and real muggy real fast. So I'm waiting for you guys to come on before I do that. And I will give you some very interesting information about the Florida Everglades because they have those signs around. You know, I love to read those signs to you. And we can all learn some things about this most amazing ecosystem, the most amazing in the world. There is nothing else like the Florida Everglades. Hi, Jose, and I am so blessed to be able to go to the Florida Everglades anytime I want, except in the summertime, it is very, very hot and muggy. And I'm going through the Florida Everglades because I'm traveling to Fort Myers from Fort Lauderdale. And the best way to do that is to take Alligator Alley. Now, this is a very special road. I hate paying tolls and driving on toll roads, but I will gladly pay for this road because it does help the restoration of the amazing Florida Everglades. So if you're ever in South Florida, and you, thank you, Jose, and you are in the Florida Everglades driving on Alligator Alley, know that your money that you're paying for this toll road is actually benefiting the Everglades. I think that's pretty cool. There's a lot of animals here and a lot of very special species. Again, you will not find anywhere else in the world, and even crocodiles and alligators living together in perfect peace and harmony, maybe. And then there's the boa constrictors, and they're invasive. Nobody likes them. But, okay, we only have a few people on. I'm not getting out of this car until I see enough people that make it beneficial for me to get out and start reading you the signs here in Alligator Alley. You can see the sign there. This is Alligator Alley. Hello, love, hello, hello. One of the most special places in the whole world. So, all right, once I see my number go over 10, I'm going to jump out of the car and we are going to check it out. And maybe we'll see some gators. I'm not sure. This is the wet season, so there aren't always a lot of visible gators, but oh yes, they're there. It's just, can you see them? Because you can see an alligator swimming plain as day. And then all of a sudden, it'll go blub, 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 and just sink and be gone. And you'll be like, oh, there was a gator there like 2 seconds ago. So you know they're still there. They don't really go away. They just disappeared. I heard on that road alligators are in the streets. That is not true. No. Alligator Alley is alligator free, and there are never any critters on the road. It's very safe. And that's one of the reasons why they built Alligator Alley, because on the route, they call it Tamiami Trail. Now, there could be alligators on that road. I've never seen it, but there's even panther crossing down there. So this is safe for the animals. It's a corridor that they constructed specially to keep the animals out. And nobody messes with the gators. And we don't mess with the gators on the beach report either. We just observe them. We don't play with them. We don't touch them. We don't go anywhere near them. Whenever you see me filming gators, I'm on an observation deck and I am not right in front of them. So let's go check out the gators if they're here in Alligator Alley. All right, turn the camera around as I get out of the car. My goodness, it is super hot and muggy. As you travel along scenic Alligator Alley, take a moment to stop and enjoy the unique Florida Everglades at designated recreational access and rest areas. There's something for everyone, and this is so true. That's why this is it's a highway, clearly. And you see these fences? Not big enough for gators to go through, although gators can climb fences, but they don't want to. In and Out lives in Florida, still haven't seen one up close. No, you generally won't. And yes, we see manatees sometimes, Selena, but it depends on where you are. Manatees are much easier to see than gators. Well, it depends on where you are. Oh, love, hello, hello, lived in Clearwater and saw them a lot. What, manatees or gators? We're touching manatees, I hope, not gators. Manatees are very sweet. They're like great big dogs. They're the dogs of the ocean. Okay. You can see all the trucks and everything going by. This is Alligator Alley, and there are big ass wasps. Holy guacamole, and they're all going over there. So I'm gonna try not to stand over there. Take a break at rest areas at mile markers 35 and 63 with restroom facilities and snack machines. You can stop and refresh yourself for the drive ahead. It takes about an hour and a half to get through the Everglades on Alligator Alley. So we're not at the mile marker where the restrooms are. But let's see if we can see any gators or critters, turtles, anything. No, I don't like looking through chain link fences, but it does keep me safe. But we are in the heart of the Florida Everglades. Yes, released boas are definitely an invasive species here, and sometimes they'll actually have hunts to get them, to find them and kill them. And I heard there's also this plan where they were using motorized rabbits to find them. I don't see any gators. Anyway, it would take a gator a long time to climb over this fence to get to me, so I think I'd have enough warning, and I'd be in my car and driving down the highway before he gets close. You didn't get notified. What the actual, Darla? Another thing that I do have to worry about is I'm wearing sandals, and walking in the grass in the Everglades is very dangerous. There are always ants, usually the red. The red variety will bite the hell out of you. So there's that. Oh my God, I just walked into this. I literally kicked it. I was like, what the heck is that? Have you ever seen such a big flipping grasshopper? That's called a lubber, I believe. Lubber, grasshopper. They're everywhere too. They are big. You know, people who eat grasshoppers, those would be the ones to eat. They're meaty. No, Jill doesn't eat bugs. Yeah, fire ants suck. I have been bitten by fire ants more times than I care to talk about. Andrea, my sister in Christ is here. Welcome, my friend. Welcome to today's Everglades version of the Beach Report. And today we're in the Florida Everglades. And I'm going to read you some of this informational literature right here. More than 15 species of wading birds inhabit the shallow, fresh, and brackish waters of the Everglades, searching for a tasty meal of fish, crustaceans, mollusks, or frogs. Once numbering in the hundreds of thousands, many of Florida's wading bird populations have declined in recent years. Here are some of the birds that we might see: the great egret, the snowy egret, the wood stork, roseate spoonbill. They're so beautiful. Thank you, Andrea. We got the great blue heron, the white ibis, the little blue heron, and the American bittern. Wading birds are very sensitive to disturbance, especially during the nesting season. So it's important that people don't get close to their nests, because even the smell of a human could cause the adults to abandon their chicks. And then, of course, we have the American alligator, found throughout the Florida Everglades. We also have the endangered Florida panther and the American crocodile, which is rare that these two should live together in the same area, but indeed they do. And here you see the map of where we are, and we are right about here, right smack dab in the middle of the Florida Everglades. The Everglades is important in so many ways. Summer rainstorms supply South Florida with ample rainfall. The Everglades acts as a natural sponge, storing excess rainfall and protecting local cities and towns from flooding. The stored water also refills the aquifer, providing drinking water to residents while preventing saltwater intrusion. And then we've got the tree islands. The Everglades landscape is dotted with tear-shaped oases, known as tree islands. Most are mere inches to several feet higher than the surrounding marsh. Although they comprise less than 2% of the area, tree islands are important to the overall health of the Everglades and the survival of many plants and animals. You often see people like this over here fishing at the edge of the Everglades. I do a lot of bass fishing here. Biologists work to protect and restore these vital areas by prescribed burning, removing exotic plants, and planting native trees and shrubs. Tree islands are one of the best indicators of the overall health of the Everglades ecosystem. Monitoring tree islands helps guide management and restoration efforts through the Everglades. Tree island survival depends on proper water levels. But over the years, natural patterns of water flow and storage were altered for flood control, water supply, and agricultural needs. Prolonged droughts, floods, and severe wildfires destroyed many tree islands. Exotic plants invaded others. So the fishermen are pretty brave. Oh, there's a gator now. Look, it's a big one. See him? See him right there. We found our gator. Look, his eyes are up. And he's not moving. Yes, I was reading a sign is what I was reading. There's a lot of really great signs around the Everglades that tells you facts about the area. Yeah, Wally Gator right there. He's a big one too. Look how large he is. You can see the tip of his nose, and then he's got some parts of his tail sticking out all the way down here. Well, you can't, I don't know if you can see it. But that is not a tiny gator. I've seen bigger. We can see him a little bit better now. And I'm standing in the grass. Again, a dangerous thing to do. But I'm doing it for you. Because I love you and I want you to see the gator. Makes me so happy to see him. I love the alligators in Florida, and I love to see them. And I'm behind a fence, so I'm safe. Not from red ants, but safe from gators. Isn't he beautiful? Isn't he lovely? Isn't he wonderful? And the water's moving, but he is not moving at all. He's just like planted there. Anyway, I really wanted to show you a gator, and now I have. Feels like my work here is done. I'll read you one more sign. Oh, here's one. Have you seen a black bear? Biologists have collared and ear-tagged bears in South Florida for research, and if you see them, you should report their sightings. Here, I'll show you what they look like. There's like a wanted poster for a black bear. Funny, huh? This freshwater marsh that you were looking at is dotted with tree islands, wet prairies, deep water sloughs, and mangrove forests. The variety of habitats supports an amazing array of other wildlife, including the endangered snail kite, wood stork, and American crocodile. Alligators, turtles, deer, raccoons, colonies of wading birds, and a myriad of fish species also find a home here. Always protect wildlife. The quality, availability, and depth of water are crucial to wading birds. This natural wet and dry cycle of the Everglades is so important. The spring dry season concentrates fish in smaller pools at a time when large quantities of food are needed to feed fast-growing, newly hatched chicks. Let me see if I can spot any more gators for you. Because if you see one, you know there are a lot more of them. I'm going to a place where there is no fence. But don't worry, no gators will be harmed in the making of this video. Welcome to the Florida Everglades, everybody. One of the most important natural ecosystems on the planet. And we're looking for alligators. Well, so far it's just the one. You know, there's more in there. They could be submerged. They might be in the banks. It's the sound of the Everglades. All right, you guys, well, it is blazing hot here. And I might make one more stop into another area of the Everglades. It's actually, there's like a new park that I was telling everybody on the beginning of the show, that when you drive through the Florida Everglades in South Florida on Alligator Alley, it's a toll road, but it's a toll road that you are actually paying to help with restoration of the Florida Everglades. So, you know, you never really know where your toll money is going when you pay for a toll road. But when you're in the Florida Everglades, it's going to this. It's going to that alligator over there to help make his home a little bit less encroached upon by man. Was deathly afraid of gators until I met them in Hilton Head, fell in love with them. You got to be deathly afraid of them too, though. They will kill you if given the chance. All right, these dudes are over here fishing. I don't want to get too close to the sign because I saw that there are wasps in it. I don't want to get stung by a wasp, that's for dang sure. See if these guys catch anything. All right, well, I cannot take the heat much longer, so I'm gonna say ciao for now, but stay tuned. We're gonna try to do a part 2 Everglades show. All right, you guys.